Okay, let's unpack this. You might spend years, deep in engineering or biotech or coding. Picturing your career is all about algorithms, maybe lab work, maybe elegant code. But what if I told you a huge chunk of your professional life, like a really significant part, is actually about something else? Words, ideas, the art of communication. We're talking crafting reports that actually compel people, architecting proposals that persuade, giving presentations that have impact, making sure your brilliant technical work isn't just brilliant, but it's understood, appreciated, and, crucially, acted upon. Today on the deep dive, that's our core mission, to explore this essential, often kind of underestimated role of technical communication. Especially in today's super connected entrepreneurial workplace, we're going to pull insights straight from our sources, show you why communicating effectively isn't just, a nice to have, it's an absolute career game changer.
Yeah. And what's truly fascinating here is this almost symbiotic relationship between like high level tech expertise and this nuanced world of communication. The research points to a really crucial shift. The modern workplace, it's become inherently more entrepreneurial.
Even if you're not launching a startup yourself.
Exactly. Whether you're launching something new or you're innovating inside a big company, it's not just about disruption buzzwords. It means every technical pro needs to be, well, self-motivated, innovative, and strategically communicative.
Right, so it's less about the code itself.
And more about how you explain the code's impact, how you persuade others to use your solution, or how you document your breakthroughs for teams that might be scattered all over the globe. So we'll be diving into three core themes today. First, just the sheer volume of communication needed in these roles, why it's like the organization's central nervous system. Second, a really powerful iterative process for actually crafting innovation through communication. And finally, this deep link between entrepreneurial traits and the strong communication skills that really define success today.
That's it exactly. By the end of this deep dive, you'll get why communication is your career superpower. And hopefully, you'll grasp how to wield it more effectively. We're going to tease out those aha moments, give you practical takeaways, things that will genuinely equip you to work smarter, not harder, in pretty much any technical environment. So let's get into it.
Okay, so picture this. You're a new grad, fresh out of a tough engineering program, maybe a coding boot camp or a science degree. You're packed with theory, ready to solve complex problems, build amazing tech, discover new stuff. But then, day one on the job, bam, you get hit with this surprise. Something lots of new technical and scientific folks experience. Just the sheer volume of writing and speaking involved in their daily tasks. It's often way, way more than anyone expected back in school. I mean, think about it. In university, your communication might have been, term papers, formal lab reports, maybe a few presentations to people you kind of knew. But the technical workplace, the material suggests it's got this frantic, accelerated pace. You're not just communicating for a grade anymore. You're communicating to get things done.
Move projects forward, secure funding, explain complex systems to all sorts of different people, stakeholders, clients, colleagues. And this rapid fire environment, it's all enabled by what the material calls the central nervous system of the technical workplace. These huge interconnected communication networks, we're talking everything, mobile phones, tablets, workstations, mainframes, all linked up, dictating this incredible speed, this global reach. It's not just your desk anymore, is it? It's connecting instantly with a worldwide network. Colleagues, partners, clients, 24/7.
Indeed. And that accelerated, interconnected environment, it fundamentally changes how work gets done. It absolutely forces you to work smarter, as the research keeps saying.
Right. You can't just work harder with that volume.
Exactly. And this is where the idea of a genre-based approach to technical communication becomes so incredibly powerful. Now, when we say genre here, we're not talking literature like fiction or poetry from English class.
Okay. Different meaning.
Totally different. The material defines genre here as patterns that reflect how communities, including people in technical workplaces, get things done. Think of it like established expectations for how certain info is presented to get specific results. And what's really fascinating is how a genre acts like this intuitive blueprint. It doesn't just shape the content. It also guides the organization, the style, the design, even the best medium to use.
Like how a research paper looks and feels totally different from a marketing email.
Precisely. Even if they're about the exact same tech. The structure, the tone, the visuals, all different because the genre is different. And the aha moment here is that these aren't rigid formulas. They don't stifle creativity.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, they're presented as flexible frameworks They offer a common language, a shared understanding that lets cross-functional teams move faster, more efficiently, because everyone kind of knows what to expect, how to contribute, what the end product should look like. This common ground helps make sense of complicated workplace situations, guides decisions. It's way beyond just organizing ideas. It's about shared understanding and speeding up action.
That flexibility you mentioned, that really resonates. So genres aren't rigid boxes, they're more like adaptable tools. Can you give us some solid examples? Like, how does knowing these patterns actually make communication faster or better in a real technical job?
Absolutely. Let's take a couple of really
Yeah.
common ones. One genre used all the time is the proposal.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone knows that term.
Right. And for good reason. When you hear proposal, it instantly brings a certain structure to mind. Proposals are understood everywhere as documents for pitching new projects, new products, pursuing opportunities. Because it's a known genre, if you say you're sending a proposal, people already expect certain sections. They know there'll probably be an intro, something on the current situation, the project plan, your qualifications.
Costs and benefits conclusion.
Exactly. That standard pattern helps readers quickly find what they need, understand the core message. They don't have to figure out a totally new format every single time. Saves tons of time, cuts down confusion.
That makes perfect sense, like a shared language for getting stuff done. Okay, but what about those times you only have like a minute or two to grab someone? That's where something like the elevator pitch fits in, right? It's like a mini proposal.
Exactly right. The elevator pitch is a brilliant example of a microgenre designed to be super concise, often about 2 minutes literally, the time of a short elevator ride.
Ha, that's the name.
Precisely. And it's incredibly versatile. It can stand on its own, maybe just to spark interest at a networking event or at a quick meeting, or it can be that crucial first step towards a full proposal. Give just enough info so someone says, okay, tell me more, send the document.
Mm.
And just like the big proposal, the elevator pitch has a typical structure savvy people recognize. You introduce yourself quickly, grab their attention with a compelling story or a problem, present your big idea, distinguish it, how's it different or better, touch briefly on cost benefits, give a memorable conclusion, and maybe offer like 2, 3 solid reasons to act or learn more.
Wow, packed into 2 minutes.
Yeah. And the power of these genres, big or small, isn't just organization. It's helping you interpret workplace situations, anticipate what's needed, how to deliver it best. It makes your communication super efficient, really impactful. They're like these ready-made frameworks for understanding and engaging, making sure your message lands effectively every time.
Okay, we've really seen how these genres frame things, help get stuff done, but I'm still thinking, how does that structure actually spark creativity? Doesn't sometimes feel restrictive? Let's dive into the actual process of technical communication, see how genres work at each step.
That's a great question. And it really gets to the core of why this approach is so effective. The material lays out this powerful 5-stage iterative process. Emphasis on iterative, it's not linear at all.
So you jump back and forth.
Exactly. Think of it more like a dynamic dance. Moving between stages as needed, constantly refining. The stages are researching and planning, organizing and drafting, improving the style, designing and revising and editing. And the real magic, the genius here, is that the genre you choose acts as your guide throughout. It shapes your decisions at every single stage. Content, organization, style, design, even the medium. It's genuinely a genre-centered process start to finish, providing guardrails that actually let creativity flow within an effective structure. So let's really dig into stage 1. Researching and planning. This is where every successful project really has to begin. Solid research, meticulous planning. Before you even think about writing, you need to understand what you and others already know or don't know about your topic. The research breaks this down into 2 key types. Each serves a different purpose. First up, startup research.
Okay, what's that involve?
It's not just random Googling. It's strategically using search engines, video platforms, to quickly get your head around a new technical topic. The goal: identify core concepts fast. Grasp the main issues. See who the key players are. Spot emerging trends maybe outside your usual view. See what info is easily available.
Like getting the lay of the land quickly.
Exactly. Before you commit deeper resources. Saves time later. Think of it as like a rapid intel mission. Second, there's formal research. This is more methodical, more rigorous, designed to systematically answer a specific research question or test a hypothesis using robust evidence.
Where does that evidence come from?
You're looking for factual database stuff, electronic databases, academic journals, books, reports, and critically empirical sources. A key insight here is paying close attention to where and how the evidence was gathered.
Checking for bias.
Absolutely. You need to be critical about source bias. Every source might have an angle. Plus, the research stresses generating your own empirical evidence, actually doing observations, running surveys, setting up experiments, conducting interviews, gathering that primary data yourself. This dual approach ensures you're both broadly informed and deeply knowledgeable. You can speak with authority, back up your claims. Okay, once you've got that foundation from research, next critical step, define your purpose. Sounds basic, maybe, but clearly stating exactly what you want this project to achieve. It's vital. Guides every single decision later.
How do you nail that down?
A simple but really effective trick suggested is completing the sentence. The purpose of my insert the genre, like report or proposal, is to. Then follow it with a precise action verb. The material gives great examples. For informative stuff, use verbs like inform, describe, define, review, instruct, explain.
And for persuasive documents.
Then you'd use things like persuade, convince, influence, recommend, advocate, justify, urge. This clarity of purpose, it's like your compass, keeps everything on track, serving your ultimate goal. After purpose, you absolutely must develop a profile of your readers. This is so critical because in TechCom, readers are everything.
Reader-centered, you said before.
Totally. The material emphasizes identifying their specific needs, values, and attitudes. Well, what info do they need to make a decision or take an action? What products or services solve their problem? Those are their needs. What outcomes or ideals matter most to them? Their professional standards. Those are their values.
And attitudes, like if they're skeptical.
Exactly. How do they feel about you, your company, the topic? Are they leaning your way, skeptical, or maybe even opposed? Understanding your readers this deeply helps you make much better choices. What info to include, how to present it, which arguments will hit home, what objections you need to tackle head on, the aha here. Audience analysis isn't just a box to tick. It's the strategic bedrock of effective technical communication. Now, a really common myth, especially maybe for technical folks, is that creativity is just innate. You're either born creative or you're not.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
But our deep dive strongly pushes back on that. It says clearly, creativity is a skill. It can be learned, developed. You too can be highly creative, innovative. It just takes practice. To tap into your creative side, the advice is start any project with an activity that gets those creative juices flowing.
Like what kind of activities?
Some people love concept mapping, visually throwing ideas around, seeing connections. Others prefer simple brainstorming lists, just jotting down everything, no judgment. Teams often use rapid-fire brainstorming to generate tons of ideas quickly. And a simple but powerful trick the material suggests, keep asking yourself, what's changed recently about this topic that makes it new or interesting right now?
Forces a fresh perspective.
Exactly. Makes you look at it differently, maybe even from competing angles. The secret here, just give yourself enough mental space and time. The sources say set aside a dedicated block, at least an hour, for these creative activities. Get in that creative zone. The aha is that creativity isn't magic. It's a process you can cultivate. And it's essential for breaking new ground. Finally, in this crucial first stage, you need to devise your strategic plan. This is where you turn your purpose and research into a concrete action plan. Set yourself up for success. First, identify your top-rank objective, TRO, and your secondary objectives. Your ultimate concrete outcome. Similar to your purpose statement, but more tangible, measurable. Then identify maybe 3 to 5 secondary objectives, supporting goals that feed directly into that TRO. Second, create a task list. Turn those objectives into detailed, actionable tasks, big or small. Assign each task, if you're in a team, to someone specific. Give it a clear completion date. Accountability, right?
Makes sense. Keeps things moving.
And third, create a project timeline. This is your overall action plan. Visually maps out completion dates for everything. Lets you track progress, make sure you hit deadlines, keep the project on course. This thorough planning upfront sets the stage for a smooth, efficient communication effort. Avoids those last-minute panics. Ensures a cohesive, final result.
Wow, that planning and research phase sounds incredibly thorough, strategic. It really does feel like building the blueprint before laying any bricks.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've got that solid foundation. How do we take all that planning and turn it into, an actual document or presentation? What's stage 2 really about? How does that genre as a map idea guide us?
Great transition. That groundwork is exactly what lets stage 2. Organizing and drafting flow so well. This is where the magic of the genre you chose really kicks in, acting as your map, just like you said. When you're done with research and planning, you're ready to start shaping the thing. The material says this stage involves doing 2 things kind of at the same time, guided by your genre choice. First, you choose a genre to organize the content. The genre isn't just a label. It actively helps you shape your ideas into patterns your readers will recognize instantly.
Like providing a mental framework for them.
Exactly. So they immediately know what they're looking at, how to process it. For instance, if you're writing instructions, readers get it right away. They know its purpose, how to follow it, because clear step-by-step instructions. That's a well-known genre.
Yeah, you see those documents, the design guides you through step 1, step 2.
Right. Clear headings, numbered lists, maybe visuals. It's expected. Second, and this happens alongside organizing, you generate your first draft. The genre isn't just about structure. It actively helps you write the text by guiding how you weave together the facts, examples, data, reasoning, all that stuff you gathered in research.
So it helps decide what goes where, ensures a logical flow.
Precisely. A flow that matches what readers expect for that type of document. So it's not just filling in blanks. The genre helps you make smart choices about how to lead your readers, from where they start to where you want them to end up or what action you want them to take. The genre basically helps you figure out, okay, what do I do next? It works like a map, makes organizing much more intuitive, efficient.
You know, I've heard stories of engineers just staring at a blank page, totally stuck. Sounds like the genre is that little voice saying, okay, start here, go here next.
That's a really powerful analogy. Turns a scary task into a manageable journey.
Okay, so once you have that first draft, how do you polish it up? Let's move to stage 3, improving the style.
Absolutely. On to stage 3, improving the style. And this is critical in today's entrepreneurial workplace. Really critical. The research makes it clear. Good style isn't just about looking nice. It fundamentally makes your documents clear and persuasive.
Clarity helps understanding.
Right. And that clarity builds trust. Trust in you, trust in your work. The material highlights 2 key types of style used a lot in technical docs. You really need to master both to communicate well. First, there's plain style.
Sounds straightforward.
It is. Stresses clarity and accuracy above all, uses simple, direct techniques, makes sentences, paragraphs super easy to understand, avoids jargon, complex phrasing that might muddy the waters. The goal is just clear comprehension, making sure your technical info is accessible no matter the reader's background. Think of it like stripping away anything confusing, just pure, clear information left behind. Second, we have persuasive style.
Okay, so this is more than just clear.
Yeah, this aims to motivate readers,
Yep.
inspire action. How? By appealing to their physical senses, personal values, emotions. You can bring writing or speaking alive with vivid sensory details. Add color, texture, movement, make abstract ideas feel real.
Using things like metaphors.
Exactly. Similes, metaphors, analogies, powerful tools here. Make writing visually engaging, exciting. Connect complex ideas to familiar ones. Plus, you can use your tone, your pace, to inject energy, urgency, whether it's written or spoken. In today's world, being able to explain innovative ideas clearly and persuasively, more vital than ever. Mastering both plain and persuasive styles lets you not just explain complex stuff, but also inspire action, get buy-in, drive results. The aha here is realizing even super technical info benefits from persuasive flair. Makes it memorable, actionable.
That's a crucial balance, clarity, and persuasion. Okay, so you've refined the message, made it accurate and compelling. Next up is stage 4, designing.
Yes, stage 4, designing. Good design isn't just for, product packaging or cool websites. It's absolutely critical for the success of print docs, online content, presentations in the technical world too. The research points out a blunt truth. If something was ugly, disorganized, or just hard to use,
People tune out?
they won't engage. Or worse, they won't buy into your ideas. This applies just as much to your technical reports or data slides as it does to a new phone on the shelf. A key idea to remember here, readers are raters for information.
Raters, meaning they swoop in and grab what they need.
Exactly. They're not usually reading your doc like a novel cover to cover. They're scanning quickly, rating the text for the important ideas, the facts they need right now to make a decision or solve a problem. So, to help them, you need to strategically highlight key info. Use effective graphics. Use layout smarts. Make the information more accessible, more interesting, visually appealing.
Like using clear headings, bullet points.
Definitely. Easy to find organization name, clear topics with headings, skimmable text in chunks, smart use of color for energy or emphasis, relevant photos or diagrams for that human touch or real-world connection. Good design guides the reader's eye, makes your critical info pop, prevents information overload, which is so easy today, helps them find what they need fast.
That Raiders analogy really sticks, shows how little time you might have to make an impact. And finally, we get to stage 5, revising and editing. Seems straightforward, but sounds crucial.
So it is. And this is not a stage to rush. Our deep dive really hammers this home. You must leave enough time for these steps.
Why so critical?
Because clarity and accuracy are everything. If readers can't understand you, or if your info's wrong, your whole effort is wasted, no matter how brilliant the idea was initially. Even more important, a well-edited, error-free document builds trust.
Trust in the ideas.
Trust in your ideas, your data, and ultimately trust in your company's products and services. The aha here is that even tiny errors can have huge consequences. The research breaks down revising and editing into 4 distinct levels. Each is vital. Level 1 is revising. This is the big picture view. You relook at your subject, your purpose, ask yourself, am I still hitting my main goal? Is this really what my readers need to know to act? It's about making sure the core message aligns with your goals. Level 2 is substantive editing. Here you focus on content, organization, overall design. The key question is findability. Can readers easily locate the info they need?
So moving whole sections around, maybe.
Could be. Reordering sections, tweaking headings, ensuring a logical flow start to finish. It's about the document's architecture. Level 3 is copy editing. Now you zoom in, sentences, paragraphs, graphics, make sure they're clear, accurate, efficient. Any redundant words, is the phrasing precise, unambiguous. Are graphics integrated well, easy to understand? It's perfecting the individual building blocks. And finally, level 4 is proofreading, meticulous final pass. Eliminate all grammar problems, typos, spelling mistakes, usage errors. And the research really underscores how serious even small errors are here.
How so?
It reveals clients and readers often see even minor grammatical slips as a direct reflection of the quality of your technical work.
Wow, that's harsh.
It is. So proofreading isn't just about tidiness. It's a critical act of building and keeping professional trust. The tiny errors can have massive impacts on your credibility and your company's bottom line. Technical docs, the material warned, will get rejected by clients if they have even small errors, because those mistakes signal low quality, erode trust, show lack of attention to detail. So solid editing, careful proofreading, not just nice to haves, they're absolutely essential for building and keeping trust.
Okay, so you might be thinking, all right, tech comm is key for clarity, process. But how does this connect to entrepreneurship? It's a link that might not jump out immediately, especially if you haven't worked around startups or high-growth tech. But our deep dive shows a striking parallel. Let's just look at the definitions side by side. Technical communication. A process of managing technical information in ways that allow people to take action. Okay. Entrepreneurship. A process of sensing new opportunities, developing new products and services, creating new methods of production, and constructively reorganizing resources in new ways. When you put them together like that, the parallels really stand out, don't they?
They really do.
Both are dynamic processes. Both involve intense creativity, a drive for innovation. Both rely on persuasion, persuading a dev team on a new protocol, or an investor to back your idea. Both aim for production, creating something real, and critically, both heavily stress taking action. It's not just static info, it's info-enabling action, driving progress, getting tangible results. The aha moment is realizing the very core of technical communication is deeply, fundamentally entrepreneurial.
Precisely. And connecting that to the bigger picture. Technical communication provides the critical tools for entrepreneurial activity. It's the vehicle. The way innovative people can effectively come up with new ideas, articulate them powerfully, persuade others to back those ideas, develop solid business plans, and ultimately turn ideas into reality.
So it's not just a support function.
Not at all. It's a core enabler of innovation, growth. And it's really vital to clarify, being entrepreneurial doesn't mean you have to launch your own startup.
Right, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, the material points out it means being innovative, self-reliant, persistent within any company, grad or veteran pro. Today's employers actively seek this mindset. They want people constantly generating ideas, proactively looking for ways to improve things, products, services, solutions, how to get things done better. Regardless of your actual job title, it's an approach to work.
That distinction is so important. So what are the specific features of TechCom that line up so perfectly with this entrepreneurial way of thinking? Our deep dive highlights several key characteristics. First, technical communication is highly mobile, interactive, and adaptable. I mean, think about it. Global economy, people accessing docs on phones, tablets, laptops, everywhere. So the stuff you create, user guides, tech specs, needs constant updating, adjusting to changing user needs, clients, customers, across different devices, different contexts. It's dynamic, living communication, not some static report filed away. Demands flexibility, constant iteration. Second, it's profoundly reader-centered.
Keep coming back to this.
Because it's central. Unlike maybe some academic writing focused on the writer's journey, TechCom is intensely focused on what readers need to know, what action they need to take. You spend a ton of time anticipating their specific info needs, their background knowledge, how they'll react. It's about serving their requirements directly, streamlining their decisions, solving their problems efficiently. Takes real empathy, foresight. Third, it's intensely team-oriented.
Collaboration is key.
Totally. Modern technical workplaces are just inherently collaborative. You'll regularly work with diverse teams of specialists on almost every project, concept to launch. Documents, presentations, often produced together, multiple authors contributing, sharing easily via cloud stuff like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. Working and writing in these teams takes up a huge amount of your time. Needs strong people skills alongside the tech skills. It's not just what you make, but how well you mesh with and leverage the team's brain power. Fourth, technical communication is highly visual. Remember the readers are raters idea.
Yeah, grabbing info quickly.
So technical documents need to be visually rich. Help readers find stuff fast. Standard things like clear headings, bullet lists, diagrams, those are expected. But also compelling photos, insightful graphs, explanatory charts. Illustrate complex points, show trends, communicate data visually. Your docs need to be attractive, maybe colorful, to grab and hold attention. Like those amazing NASA examples we looked at, stunning visuals, clear diagrams, smart color use, transforming complex data into something easily digestible, high impact. Makes the complex seem instantly understandable. Fifth, it's deeply shaped by ethical, legal, and political issues.
Not just abstract concepts.
Right. Ethics, laws, politics, they're core features of the tech workplace now. Mobile tech, for instance, constantly pushing boundaries, user privacy, data security, responsible production, IP rights.
Big issues.
Huge. And with flatter management structures, employees at all levels have more decision-making power. Often means they have to sort out the complex ethical, legal, political angles of tech decisions themselves. Means understanding the wider societal impact of your work and communicating about it responsibly. And finally, it's shaped by international and transcultural demands.
It's a global reality.
Exactly. Tech companies compete globally. You'll very likely collaborate regularly with people across continents. Asia, Europe, Africa, Australia, South America. Your clients, your customers, incredibly diverse. Different languages, different cultural customs, different expectations about communication style, business etiquette. You absolutely have to anticipate and adjust your communication for these international and transcultural demands to be effective. Which means maybe a deep dive into cultural intelligence as much as the technical facts.
Building right on those characteristics, the material then lays out 8 key traits of successful entrepreneurs, identified by corporate leaders, and powerfully shows how each one is profoundly linked to technical communication. First, the innovator. To succeed, you need to spot trends, create novel solutions, assess risks, develop fresh takes on things. But here's the crucial link. Innovation without the communication skill to turn it into a compelling pitch or a clear spec for the team.
It often just fizzles out.
Exactly. Imagine an engineer with a brilliant AI idea but struggles to explain its value beyond the code itself. The innovator as communicator shines here. They spot the trend, create the solution, and then powerfully convey that vision to bring it to life. Get the buy-in, the resources. Second, the leader. Leadership means strategic thinking, setting clear goals, delegating effectively. Your ability to lead, especially in today's flatter team structures, hinges entirely on expressing ideas clearly, persuading others to act.
Like a project manager rallying the team.
Perfect example. Their success depends on crystal clear communication. Objectives, roles, challenges. Leadership is communication, moving people to a shared vision. Third, the listener.
More than just hearing, right?
Way more. Actively soaking up info, customers, colleagues, mentors, recognizing subtle market shifts, project scope changes, identifying problems before they blow up, and effectively using criticism even when it's tough to refine your ideas. Great communicators are first great listeners. It informs everything else, lets them tailor the message for maximum impact. Think about listening to user feedback, really hearing their pain points. Fourth, network savvy. Today's workplaces are super networked, intensely collaborative. You need to communicate across all sorts of devices, IM, video calls, be comfy with remote work, distributed teams, build solid professional relationships online and offline.
And communication is key to navigating that network.
Absolutely. Finding the right person, the right expertise, relies heavily on your communication skills. It makes you a vital connection point. Fifth, self-reliant. Employers increasingly want self-starters, people with discipline, determination, confidence. Self-reliance means trusting your own knowledge, your skills, solving problems, taking initiative, moving things forward without constant hand-holding.
Yes.
But that confidence, often built on being able to articulate your ideas, your plans, even your uncertainties, clearly,
to yourself and others.
Yeah.
Fosters that internal conviction, gets external buy-in.
Being able to pitch your own solution.
Exactly, internally or externally. Sixth, ethical. Goes beyond just doing the right thing. Means understanding rights, following laws, treating people fairly, building strong, trust-based relationships. The material's clear. Unethical choices, even if they seem like a quick fix, can lead to severe, long-term trouble. Legal, financial, reputational.
And communication plays a role here.
Foundational. Clear, honest, ethical communication builds trust, especially with sensitive data or new tech with big societal impacts. Seventh, resilient. Setbacks, unexpected problems, failures, they happen, especially in fast-paced tech. Resilience means being flexible, adaptable, staying calm under pressure, bouncing back constructively.
Communicating through the tough time.
Yes, communicating difficult truths to stakeholders, pivoting strategy when needed, rallying the team even when things go wrong. It involves effective crisis comms, inspiring continued effort. And finally, the communicator itself. This isn't just one trait on a list. It underpins almost all the others. Corporate leaders consistently rank communication as a top must-have skill. In our networked world, you're in constant contact. Writing and speaking are the primary ways you succeed. Your ability to communicate clearly, confidently, persuasively plays a decisive role in your overall success. Explaining complex stuff to non-techies, negotiating a key partnership. It's the thread woven through all these entrepreneurial traits.
So after exploring all of this, you might still be wondering, maybe a little skeptically, okay, how important is technical communication to my career, really? Is it just soft skills? Does it genuinely affect my path? Well, let's just cut straight to the unignorable truth here. Technical communication is absolutely critical to your success, full stop. And we've got the proof right here in the research. So what does this all mean for you, your career?
We have some really compelling evidence from our sources that just makes this undeniable. Consider a 2011 study published in a major engineering journal, IE's journal. It found that engineers, the very backbone of so many tech fields, spend over 50% of their workday communicating through writing.
Over half their day, just writing.
Half their day. Emails, proposals, specs, reports. Think about that. More than half their time isn't hands-on technical work. It's explaining, documenting, persuading through writing. The aha here. Even if you never think of yourself as a writer, if your job's technical, it demands writing constantly. Then, in 2013, the International Federation of Engineering Education Societies, they listed 20 essential attributes for a global engineer.
And communication was high on that list.
Right near the top. Communication itself is ranked 7th, described as communicates effectively in a variety of different ways: written, verbal, graphic, listening electronically. And 8th, communicates effectively to both technical and non-technical audiences. Even more telling, the material notes over half of all the skills listed for this ideal global engineer are skills you'd explicitly learn in a dedicated technical communication course.
Wow, so it's not just one skill, it's woven into many.
Exactly. It's a global consensus on what makes engineers effective, beyond just their core tech knowledge. A 2013 survey by the Workforce Solutions Group paints an even broader picture, maybe more alarming for job hunters. Over 60% of employers said new applicants lacked communication and interpersonal skills.
Half of them.
Yeah. And what's truly eye-opening, while math and science skills were important, expected, communication actually ranked as the top basic skill in demand.
Above math and science.
Above math and science proficiency, according to those employers. They're literally telling us what they need most: effective communication. It's not a suggestion. It's a direct plea from industry. Imagine two candidates, identical tech skills. The one who can articulate ideas clearly, collaborate well, present persuasively. That's the one who gets hired and thrives. And this isn't just some old trend. It keeps getting stronger. The National Association of Colleges and Employers, NACE survey from 2020, powerfully backs this up. Shows a huge 77.5% of employers actively look for written communication skills on resumes. Yeah. And nearly 70%, 69.6%, are looking for strong verbal communication skills. These skills consistently rank near the very top of key attributes employers want, making them pretty much non-negotiable for success in any technical or entrepreneurial role today. Being able to communicate your value, your ideas, your solutions, that's what unlocks opportunities.
These stats aren't just numbers. They're a direct, clear signal from the workplace, echoing everything we've talked about today. And the most exciting part, the real opportunity for you, listening right now, is this. Fortunately, you can learn how to write and speak effectively in the technical workplace. Our deep dive offers this powerful reassurance. With guidance and practice, anyone can learn to write and speak well.
It's absolutely a learnable skill set.
Right. It's not about being born a great speaker or writer. It's about developing skills, a process, a strategic mindset, this deep dive, just engaging with this material. It's part of that golden opportunity to build these vital tech comm skills. They won't just help you land the job you want, giving you a real competitive edge. They will absolutely help you succeed and thrive once you're in that role. Accelerate your whole career path.
Oh.
In the global market today, the ability to communicate is quite simply the key to success. So let's wrap up this deep dive into technical communication in the entrepreneurial workplace. We've covered a lot today, really peeled back the layers on a skill that's often overlooked but so critical. We started with the dynamic nature of tech workplaces, the surprising centrality of communication, that central nervous system. Then we unpacked the power of genres, not rigid rules, but flexible, intuitive tools for creativity and innovation.
Those adaptable frameworks.
Exactly. We walked through that systematic five-stage writing process, from research and planning, through organizing, drafting, improving style for clarity and persuasion, designing for impact, and the absolute need for rigorous revising and editing to build trust. And finally, we uncovered that inseparable link between strong tech comm skills and entrepreneurial success, detailing those specific traits of the entrepreneurial communicator, showing how communication underpins every single one.
And this really raises an important question for you, our listener, to think about now. How consistently are you applying these principles?
Yeah.
In every interaction, quick email, major presentation, team meeting, think about the depth of what we discussed, meticulously researching your audience, crafting that plain yet persuasive style, designing messages for clarity, embodying those entrepreneurial traits like active listening, resilience. How could consistently applying these principles transform not just single projects, but your entire career path?
Compounding effect.
Exactly. Imagine if every time you sent an email, drafted a report, led a meeting, you consciously applied just one of these principles. What measurable difference could that make in just 1 week? So here's a challenge. Identify just one area of communication. Maybe refining your research to understand your audience better, injecting more persuasive style into proposals, or maybe consciously practicing an entrepreneurial trait like active listening or resilience in your daily interactions. Pick one. Focus on it intentionally this week. See what changes.
That's a fantastic challenge, and one that definitely promises real, tangible results. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, your ability to communicate effectively really is your career superpower. We'll catch you next time.